Hello and welcome to Lone Orange Live. Are you on the wrong step in your business? Business growth actually happens in a certain order. And so, no matter how new or how old, no matter how small or how big your business is, you're going to advance in the same sequential order. Now, we have a tendency to beat ourselves up because we're maybe not as far along as we want to be. We kind of want to skip ahead several steps. But I'm here to encourage you to embrace where you're at and learn what you need to take the next step. So, are you on the wrong step in your business? Are you ready? Let's get started. Welcome. My name is Tiffany Huckelman. I am the founder of Lone Orange and the host of Lone Orange Live. I am excited to be talking with you today about this concept of how business growth happens, especially for solopreneurs. So I remember back in probably about the first year of my business, I heard a speaker and she said, "Congratulations, you've created yourself a job, not a business." And I was furious. You see, I had gotten in to business to be on my own. I needed to get out of my last job. I was overworked and overwhelmed there, and I needed to get out. And I had plenty of passion to drive my business forward, and I had every desire to do it all on my own. I didn't want a team. I just wanted to do the work, help my clients, make lots of money, and be happy. And at first, when I heard the speaker say that, I was livid because I thought, how dare you tell me that what I'm doing isn't a business? However, a few months later, it dawned on me that she was correct. And here's how I knew. I knew because I was doing really well, doing work, getting lots of clients, getting their work done. My clients were thrilled. I was getting more and more people and more clients, and I quickly hit a capacity ceiling. I hit a limit of what I could do. I hit a limit of my time. I hit a limit of my energy. I hit a limit of how many clients I could help at once. I hit a limit of how much money I could make. That's not why I got into business. I got into business to help lots of people make lots of money and not be so overworked and overwhelmed. But I needed more clients. I needed more money. In order to stay open, I needed more money and therefore I needed more clients. But if I needed more clients, then I needed more time to help them. And if I needed more time, then I needed more energy. And I couldn't do any more. I was newly married and my new marriage was already suffering because I was spending so much time and attention on my business that I wasn't focused on my husband. And I was working all the nights and the weekends. I was overworked. I was overwhelmed and I had maxed out my capacity. Now I had a choice to make. I could quit and go get a job because I couldn't do any more. I couldn't give any more to this business. Or I could figure out how to grow and increase my capacity so I could make more money, help more people, and not kill myself doing it. So I just knew that there had to be a way. I knew that there were lots of solopreneurs getting into the marketplace. I knew that there were people I could help. I knew that there had to be a way that I could serve more clients without me doing it all. Now, like I said earlier, I had gotten into business with no desire to have any kind of team. Like that equated to headaches and frustration and micromanagement and more work for me. And that just did not sound fun at all. Right. So, I figured out that when I hit that capacity, I looked around and started figuring out ways that I could increase my capacity. Now, envision this. I'm going to draw you a picture because I have the whiteboard here and I can. If I have, pretend this is a water glass. Okay. And in this glass, there's water. And this is my energy. This is my time. This is the number of clients I could have. This is the amount of money that I could make. For one person, there was a limit. I was going to reach that capacity very quickly, and I did. Within the first year, I was at the capacity, and that's where I decided, what am I going to do if I keep trying to pour more clients and make more money into this? all it's going to do is overflow and make a mess. That's no good. So I had to figure out a way to increase the capacity of, now my capacity was not going to change, but the capacity of the business could change. If there was a dish or bowl that this glass sat in, that when it started overflowing, that it had a place to go, that it didn't make a mess, and that this bowl could keep getting bigger. The reality is that the capacity that we have is endless. The capacity our business has is endless. The capacity we have is finite. So, how do we as business owners create this structure for ourselves so that we can increase our capacity for money, time, energy, clients, impact, all of that good stuff? So, what so once I realized that increasing my capacity was going to be the secret, now I had to figure out, well, how to do that. Now I got into business with no real understanding about business. So I didn't really know what to go do. I hired lots of coaches, paid for lots of courses, did all the things to try to figure this out. And I've learned a lot and I made a lot of mistakes. So over the last 12 years that Lone Orange has been in existence, I went from not wanting to have any team and wanting to do everything by myself, limiting myself, to understanding the importance of capacity building and the ability to increase my capacity. Now I have a team that I love. Those headaches of having a team don't exist. Now they do things the way I want them done. My clients appreciate them. We still have a very high level of service because I've trained them how I want it done. I was even able to take, every year I take a vacation, but last year I was able to go to Hawaii with my family for 3 whole weeks, completely unplugged. My team carried the business right through, and we had one of our best revenue months ever. I don't know what that says about me, but like it didn't decrease our capacity, it didn't decrease our ability to make the money. Things were still happening even when I wasn't there, even when I wasn't in the middle of everything, which is, for solopreneurs, is hard for us to separate, but it is possible. And that's what I want to share with you, because my story is not unique. There are many people who got fed up in corporate or in their job. Who there are many people who are having the same struggle. They've got into business and are frustrated because they're hitting that capacity ceiling. They want more clients, they want more money, but they don't have the time or the energy to do that. Now, the Bureau of Labor actually says that there are 20% of businesses that fail within the first year. That's a lot. I heard a number recently. I'll have to check this out, but I think it was like 540,000 new businesses a day that are being opened. If 20% of those, I'm not going to do the math right here because that would be disastrous for all of us. But that's a lot of businesses that are going to fail within that first year. And it doesn't have to be that way. And I don't want you to be one of those casualties of business purely because you don't know the way to grow your capacity. Because I believe that solopreneurs will change the world. If we're having that many solopreneurs, that many entrepreneurs entering the workforce on a given day, and 80% of us are surviving, we're going to change the world because we have the passion and the drive and the wherewithal to get things done and have the impact that we want to have at a ground level. So this is kind of a ground swell movement, and I believe that we can change the world because we are so passionate. But we can't do it if we're overworked or overwhelmed or frustrated or stuck. We've got to be able to grow a sustainable business. And for the last 12 years, I have helped solopreneurs grow their businesses. So for the next just few minutes, I want to just tell you a couple of primary things that every business needs to know to be able to grow their capacity, serve more of the right clients, make more of the money that you want to make without overdoing it yourself. All right. So first, I'm going to give you a little context. So in 1983, the Harvard Business Review came out with this very academic sounding article about the stages of business. And it makes my head hurt when I look at it. But I've kind of simplified this idea, especially for solopreneurs. So if we are on a path in our business, there are a lot of steps in our business that we have to take to grow it. We're constantly going up, hopefully. But the idea is that we're constantly going up and that we have to take one step at a time. You can try to skip steps and sometimes it's successful, but generally not. But based on what the Harvard Business Review even says, there are, I'm going to call them 4 stages. The first stage, and I'm going to draw lines here, but I want to point out that there is not a hard and fast rule about there's not a hard and fast rule, or the stages in business are not necessarily so defined. Like this can be these stages, and that's why I actually drew this in the middle of the stage. This first stage is going to be a merge. This is where you start having the idea to even grow a business. I think I could do that. That sounds like a fun thing to do. I think I'm going to start my own business. And you start developing the idea. You start talking about it with people. You actually start the business. You start talking to people about it and start trying to make sales. That's a merge. Then the next stage is the experimentation stage. And this is where, some people might call this the growth stage. But really, this is where we are experimenting. We're experimenting with who we're helping. We're experimenting with what we're really doing for them and how we are creating the packages and the products and the services. What's going to be compelling? What's of interest? How are we really having the most success for our clients? We're thinking about pricing. We're thinking about marketing and our messaging and our branding and who are we and how do we reach the right people? And there's a lot of spaghetti being thrown against the wall in this stage, but that's the growth stage. Then, in fact, I'm going to even bump this up, honestly, because I think we spend the most time in this experiment stage. Then once we have experimented and we've got it down, then we start moving into the expand. This is where you really start scaling and growing that capacity. This is where, so you've tested your concept, you know what you're doing for people, and now you are able to move into this area where you can start really growing that capacity. That's the 4th stage, especially for solopreneurs. And then the last stage is exit. This is where you've had a good run and you're starting to plan, you're maturing, your business is maturing, you've been expanding, you continue growing, but now you're starting to think about what's the end. Are you going to sell? Are you going to, gift it to somebody? How are you going to exit out of your business? So we spend the majority of our business in these 2 stages. And wherever you are is totally fine, because recognize that you have to go. Every single business goes in this order. We all have to take step after step after step after step. Now, the exact steps might be a little different. I've taken many side steps where maybe I try to jump ahead because I wanted to be in this section. I wanted to be in the expand section. And so I was down here and I tried to jump ahead. And so I took the wrong course or did the wrong thing, and I tried to grow too far too fast. And in fact, one time it was right when I had decided, okay, I'm going to really grow my design side of things, where I'm going to hire in designers to help me do the work so I could increase my capacity. That's one way you can increase capacity. I jumped right to that. And I decided, I geek out on software anyway, but I decided that I needed to have the biggest, brightest, best project management software out there. So I did all my research. I test drove a lot of different options. I've looked for all the features that I wanted in my mind's eye for what this big, gigantic branding agency was going to do. And I found the one, and it was perfect. And so I invested thousands of dollars into this software. Now, at this point, I was still just me. I hadn't even hired team members yet. But I was anticipating having to manage all these projects. So I invested thousands of dollars in this one software. It was great, but within the first year, I realized that it was much too much for what we needed. And as painful as it was and as expensive as it was, I got out of that software and ended up finding several free or cheap options to kind of put together what we needed. So this idea of growing too far too fast is very dangerous and very real. Like I think we all do it, taking, the course or buying into the coaching program that maybe isn't really what we need right now. Maybe it's something we need down the road, buying a software, just jumping too far too fast. So recognizing where we're at in these stages is really, really important, because there are so many gurus out there telling you that you need this, you have to do this to grow. That's not necessarily true. You've got to know where you are in your business and what you need to do next for your business. So, if you are now, I'm going to assume that we're all moving in the same direction, that we all want to get to the point of really getting our business concept down, making lots of money, growing, and then getting to the point of scaling, of being able to increase that capacity, because that's what we're talking about. So now here, there's two things that over the years, as a business owner myself, and all the mistakes that I've made and all the things I've learned for myself, and the things that I've seen my clients do and helped my clients through, there are two primary things that go together that we must have. It's kind of the right side, left side part of our brains, really. But we must have both. We have to have the balance, and we have to have strong and even growth. And they're going to interact and influence each other all the time. So let's talk about what that is. I'm going to erase this just to kind of open this up a little bit, but know that the stages are still here. So the very first thing that you must have to grow is your brand clarity. Now, brand clarity is big. It's a big umbrella term for my brain just stopped. Sorry, it's a big umbrella term. A lot of people think, logo or website or uh, brochures or that sort of thing. But really, branding is about who you are at your essence, your core, who you help, and how you help them. So, what does having brand clarity even do for you? Well, it does a couple things. It gives you confidence to be able to talk to people about who you are. Have you ever been to a networking meeting where you are stumbling trying to explain what it is that you do, or you get kind of these blank stares when you explain what you do, that you think it's a perfect explanation and people don't get it? So having brand clarity gives you the confidence to know how to communicate who you are, how awesome you are, what you do for people, with confidence, with clarity, and very compellingly. But also knowing you're having your brand clarity gives you better decision. It helps you make better business decisions, because you can look at it from a perspective, look at different opportunities and decisions from a perspective of your business and who you are as your business, your core values, what really aligns with who you are. So it actually allows you to make better business decisions. It can help you attract the right kind of clients. I had a client, Marissa, who went a coaching client, and she went through the process with me. And after going through this branding clarity process, within 1 month, she was attracting the better fit clients, rather than the clients she was getting before, who were draining her energy, draining her time, wanted her to charge less. All the frustrating things about clients, she was now attracting clients who loved her, who she loved working with, and who were willing to pay her what she was worth. So that right there started just attracting the right kind of clients. Having your brand clarity also, as you get to that point where you're ready to hire a team, make sure that you're hiring better fit team members, because it's the basis for your culture. It's going to support you're going to find people who are supporting your mission and align with your brand. So you're going to hire much better candidates for your team when you get to that point. So, and without brand clarity, you have none of that. In the brand, I would say your brand is going to evolve. I still feel like my brand is evolving, but I have a pretty solid understanding of my brand. and how to communicate it and how to get the word out there to people. And it's going to take some time for you to work on this and be very intentional about figuring out what that brand clarity is. Now, let's go to the other side of your brain where the other part of what you need to be able to go up this scale is operational efficiency. Efficiency. Okay, now so that doesn't sound very sexy, and it is definitely the other side of the brain. This is the art, this is the science part of it. But here's the thing is that as you start growing and going up the scale, as you start scaling this, you start getting clear on your brand clarity, you're going to need to start finding ways to be more personally efficient. You're going to start looking for software tools to make you more efficient. You're going to start looking for ways to automate and how to document systems, and then you're going to be able to start delegating and hiring a team. So having this operational efficiency is the other part. If you think of these like balloons, they're growing at the same rate. They're going to be pushing you up and up and up, helping you to grow. So what does this do for you? It allows you to scale your capacity. It allows you to start hiring good people and training them well so that they can help you serve more clients, make more money, and not work as hard as you currently are. And so now here's the thing, these two work together and they influence each other, they interact with each other. They have to be together because if you don't have brand clarity, your operational efficiency, you will not be efficient, you will not be effective, you will not be able to scale. And without documented systems and efficiencies, you're not going to be able to deliver on your brand clarity and what you say you're going to do for people. So these completely interact together and they have to grow together. Now, here's the thing, in this experiment stage, this is going to be where you're really working on developing these as these things are evolving, where you are spending time thinking about them and working on them. And spending that time is really important in this stage. But these things are also going to be what boosts you into the next stage. It's going to be what pushes you from the growth into the scaling. So I hope you see that how this is so important to be able to get from while you're in the experiment stage. One, be okay with that. Like it's part of what we are and part of how we operate and how we're going to grow. Experiment, get clear on it, but while you're experimenting, get clear on your brand clarity and your operational efficiency. And then as you get more solid with this, that's going to be what pushes you into the scaling stage, into the expand stage. So the other thing that we absolutely need is, especially solopreneurs, is a community. We've got to be surrounded by people who get this, who are on this same staircase as we are. This staircase is not like the traditional entrepreneur staircase or the corporate ladder staircase or even nonprofit staircase. This is unique. Like a solopreneur staircase is very unique. So I don't want you to be on the wrong step. I want you to be on the right step and to be surrounded by people who understand where you're at, who can help you get from one step to the next, who can help you continue growing, who can help you experiment, who can listen to your messages or your new ideas and can give you feedback in a safe place. Having that kind of community is crucial for small businesses, especially in this experimenting stage. So if you're looking for a community like this, if you want to be able to grow your business like this, if you want to get really good at this experiment stage and be able to move quicker into the expand stage, imagine being able to really scale and really grow your capacity. Imagine being confident in who you are and who you can help and how you're going to help them. Imagine being efficient and effective in how you operate and being able to hire a team. You can do that. And I want to help you. And the quickest and easiest thing that you can do is come join us in the Solo Success Lab. So the lab is specifically for solopreneurs who are in that experiment stage that need a safe place, people who understand where we can kind of throw that spaghetti against the wall, test things out before we go out into the real world, and test it out with our clients and in our marketing. So having this group is so valuable and so helpful because we can get feedback quickly on what we're trying to do. So I want to invite you to come join us in the Solo Success Lab. I'm going to put the link. I think I am. I am not going to put the link, but I will put the link below in the comments below as soon as I'm done with the broadcast. But come join us. It is just bit.ly, BITLY at, uh, uh-oh, let's see, I lost my notes. I guess I will have to go back and find that out. Bit.ly, bit.ly slash capital solo, capital success, capital lab. Again, I'll put that link below, but come join us. Come check it out and join us for the Solo Success Lab. It's a mastermind specifically for solopreneurs. All right, friends, I hope this has been helpful. I know when I first kind of started understanding this, it made me feel a lot better where I was because I wanted to be up here. I wanted to be running a solid business, helping all the people in the world with the most perfect team, and I had to spend a lot of time here. So it is possible. You can get there. And I want to show you how to get there and the processes to get there. So we'll talk about this more over the next couple of weeks. But until then, I hope you have a fantastic week. And I will see you next Thursday at 9 a.m. at Lone Orange Live. Bye.